Welcome back to the channel Gadgets for Gentlemen. In today's video I'm going to compare the biggest differences between the Apple Watch Series 10 in the color jet black, this is the aluminium version. Compare it to the Apple Watch SE second generation in the color Starlight aluminium. The Apple Watch Series 10 here on the left can be purchased for the GPS only version $399. The Apple Watch SE second generation can be purchased GPS only from $249 and this is the official price on the website of apple.com. As you can see, both of these watches come on the original sport band. Right here we have the black sport band for the Apple Watch Series 10. You can also purchase it on the beautiful sport loop. Also, this Apple Watch SE second generation comes on this beautiful sport band that really suits that starlight color of the case. I have all these specs here right in front of me and let's quickly go through the biggest differences. On the left we have a 42mm aluminum case. On the right we have a 40mm case, making the case of the Apple Watch SE second generation a bit more compact. As you can see, the Apple Watch Series 10, whether you go with the 42 or the 46mm, will be a bit bigger compared to the 40mm or 44mm that you can find with the Apple Watch SE second generation. Also, one big difference between these two devices is the display. We have an always-on display with the Apple Watch Series 10. We have a display with the Apple Watch SE second gen that will turn off at some time. For this video we set the turn off function for 75 seconds. So you will find me hitting the displays to make sure that these will stay active. Second difference is the amount of nits. We have 2000 nits on the left, 1000 nits on the right. And also Apple claimed to have produced this wide angle display. So viewing angles will be much better with the Series 10 compared to the SE second gen that you will need to see head on. The Series 10 should be 40% brighter when viewed at an angle. Now, in terms of the sensors inside these watches, we no longer have the ECG with the Series SE second gen. Other than that, a lot of similarities. Big new difference with the Series 10 or improvement is now we have sleep apnea notifications. We have wrist temperature. Other than that, it's pretty similar. So again, with the Apple Watch SE second gen, you are getting a lot of the features that you can find in any Apple Watch. Series 10 just has a little bit more extra features. For example, now with the Series 10, we have a depth gauge to 6 meters, which is helpful when you go snorkeling. You can see the depth, and also the temperature sensor is being used to measure the water temperature. One of the biggest differences in these watches is the chip. The Series 10 on the left features the S10 chip. The SE second gen features the S8 chip. I honestly have no clue about the specifications of these chips. I imagine that the Series 10 will be a bit more faster and economic in terms of energy consumption, but I don't really know what are the biggest differences between the latest chip, the S10 and the S8. With the Series 10 we have the double tap gesture that you can use to control the menus, for example, and apps. This is absent with the SE second gen. Also, I think this relates to the chip. The Siri that we can find in the chip with the S10 is a bit better. Apple Watch calls this fast on device Siri, while for the SE second gen you need to have Wi-Fi connection or internet connection to use Siri. There is precise finding for the iPhone on the S10. For the second gen SE, there's only Find iPhone. Both of these watches feature 18 hours of battery life in normal conditions. The S10 gives you 36 hours of power in low power mode. The SE second gen also has a low power mode, but it's not mentioned how many hours it will give you. The S10 gives you faster charging. You can charge it from 0 to 80% in about 30 minutes. This is a feature that cannot be found in the SE 2nd Gen. The S10 can be found in jet black. This is the color jet black. You can find it in rosé gold and silver. The SE 2nd Gen can be found in midnight, starlight and silver. And here we're dealing with the color starlight, and we're dealing with the color jet black. With the Series 10 you can also upgrade to the titanium version, which is available in slate, gold and natural. So both of these watches are GPS only. Case material is aluminium. The GPS only versions are a bit more budget friendly compared to the LTE version. The Series 10 can even be found in a collaboration with Hermes. It's titanium in the color silver. Now let's compare one of the most important features in terms of your daily wear. These versions, the Series 10 weighs 30 grams and the SE 2nd Gen, the 40 millimeters, only weighs 26.4 grams. So in daily life, the Apple Watch Series SE 2nd Gen will be a bit lighter. If these 4 grams are noticeable, 3.6 grams on the wrist, I'm not sure, but this one is a bit lighter. Also, the dimensions, they are a little bit different. We have 40 millimeters, and I think this is quite noticeable. This watch, I think, blends better on your wrist, especially if you have a small wrist like myself. This one definitely is a bit larger, but then there is one big difference. The Series 10 is a bit thinner, 9.7 millimeters in terms of thickness compared to 10.7 millimeters of thickness. So we have 1 millimeter reduced on the case, which I think is a big improvement, and I want to show it to you what it looks like on camera. So I hope you are able to register this on the camera. Here on the right we have the SE 2nd generation, and this watch I think is very wearable on the smaller wrist. But in terms of the thickness, if you look at the new S10 version, we can see that there is 1 millimeter reduced, and this actually matters quite a bit on the wrist, because this way it will blend in better under, for example, your dress shirt. It won't be in the way. But then again, if you look at the length of these watches, you can see that the SE 2nd Gen is a bit shorter, which is also, I think, something worth considering. And here we have these cases side by side. You can definitely tell that the S10 is a bit more shiny compared to the Starlight. That is also very beautiful. And here we can see the buttons, the crown, and again that profile. You can see that definitely, I can see that 1 millimeter reduction in the case. I think it's not hard to miss. So that is the thickness, that is the case size of these two watches. Also worth pointing out for this video, the Apple Watch SE 2nd Gen is wearing a screen protector. One more thing to notice about the screen is the screen real estate. We have the 42 millimeter here on the left. We have quite a bigger display area compared to the 40 millimeter. And I will also include a photo from Apple where you can see the differences. Just to give you one real life example, let's have a look at the calculator app here on the S10 and here on the SE 2nd generation. We can see that the S10 is a bit easier to type compared to the SE 2nd Gen. Also, for example, when we look at timers, we can see just a little bit of a difference in terms of the size of everything on the screen. The Series 10 has the 3rd generation optical heart sensor. The SE 2nd Gen has the 2nd generation optical heart sensor, and I have no clue what are the differences. In terms of the durability, the Apple Watch Series 10 has certified IP6X dust resistant, and this is not the case with the Apple Watch SE 2nd Gen, and I have no clue what it means. One funny difference between these two Apple Watches is now with the Series 10, you have the function for media playback. So for example, you're listening to a podcast and you can continue listening to your podcast on your device when, for example, your AirPods, when they power off, when there's no more battery. This is not available on the Apple Watch SE 2nd Gen. The microphone on the Series 10 has voice isolation. So making phone calls on the S10 should be more pleasant for your partner on the other end of the line due to that voice isolation. Also worth mentioning is the case back of the watch is a bit different between the S10 and the SE 2nd Gen. Here we have the sensor, and this material is a bit different from your Apple Watch Series SE 2nd Gen, because here we're dealing with this nylon composite, which I think Apple used to bring down the costs of production, which is, I think, very acceptable because for me it doesn't really matter that case back that much. So I think it's about time to wrap up. The Series S10 marketed. I think it's time to wrap up this video. Let's jump to the conclusions. Apple Watch is promoting the S10 as the thinnest Apple Watch ever with the biggest display. And this is very obvious. The S10 features new health insights, the sleep apnea notification, the water temperature, now also including the depth rating, which is very cool if you go snorkeling. Now, for example, in the morning when you take a shower, you can put your Apple Watch S10 to the charger and it will charge the battery in 30 minutes from 0% to 80%. There are new ways to fine-tune your fitness experience, customizing activity rings to match your lifestyle. I haven't played around with this feature yet. The S10 has a bigger screen. You have that white screen, more nits. It's definitely a big improvement. And as noticed, the S10 is quite a bit thinner compared to the SE 2nd Gen. And also you have more surface area for the display. The sleep apnea feature could be very helpful because Apple claims that 80% of sleep apnea are undiagnosed. So this watch could definitely be life-changing in terms of your medical situation. There's a new swim workout with the Apple Watch Series 10. However, I have to conclude that if you are looking for a budget-friendly watch, if you have a small wrist like myself, I think the Apple Watch Series SE 2nd Gen is just a loving watch because you save about $150 on your bill while getting a fantastic watch with one of the most important features of the Apple Watch. It's still supported with the latest operating system. However, I honestly think because this model dates back to September 2022 that we are very likely to see a successor very soon. I expect a Series SE 3rd generation maybe later this year or early next year. This is my thoughts. So if you can find the SE 2nd generation for a very fair price, I think it's a fantastic watch if you don't really care about all these sensors, if you don't really care about that bigger display. And again, the 2nd generation is just, for me personally on the wrist, it wears a little bit better with 40 millimeters compared to 42. And you save $150 on a smartwatch, which I think is a lot of money for a lot of people. So again, I really love all the improvements of the Series 10. I think it's a great looking piece. I wonder how that jet black color will turn out over wear and tear. But the SE 2nd Gen is still one of my favorite watches around. So with a retail price of $249, I think it's far more easier to purchase compared to the $399 with the Series S10. But let me know what you think about these two watches. Leave it down below in the comment section. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care.